after Pereira lost to Ankalaev this weekend, it really hurt my soul. But there's a few options for him. The last time he took a loss like this against Izzy, he moved up and went on a tear in a new division. So let's talk about heavyweight options. Let's talk about maybe a rematch with Big Ank, what he needs to do differently, and what happens if he stays in the light heavyweight division. You know, how long does his career last now?
You didn't ask me how I felt when Pereira lost.
How did you feel when Pereira lost, bro? I think we all felt like shit.
I felt depressed.
Yeah.
I felt sad. I felt lost. I felt like the world stopped for...
Do you need to talk about it?
It's okay. I actually recently got a counselor just to talk about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I feel like that's actually probably someone's done that, though. You know? Like...
Also lost me some money, Pereira.
True. You lost everyone some money. That's why I don't bet.
2 parlays. All I needed was Pereira money line. 10 times my money.
Frick.
2 of them. 2 separate parlays of 10 times my money.
You know what's crazy? I was like giving myself, like, after that night that Pereira lost and I came home, I was like giving myself like advice. I was like, yeah, it's okay, bro. Like, bro, you don't know him. Like, it doesn't affect your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I had to go to some stupid shindig function.
He froze out a rager. He didn't invite me.
Where I went and sat on a couch and they're like, and I had to go break the news to everyone.
Oh, shit.
This is what you did to us, Hank. Yeah, where I went and I first walked in and had to tell everyone that Pereira lost.
And then you just sat. I was gonna say, and then you just sat like this on the couch.
I just sat on a couch with my Celsius, and they're like, "What's going on?" And they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, Pereira lost." And then I'm driving there. My girlfriend texts me, "How was your night?" And I said, "Terrible. Pereira lost." Instantly gets a phone call. "Are you okay?" I was like, "It's not that deep."
Bro, I had people phoning him, consoling him about the Pereira loss. That is crazy. I want to know, anyone in the comments, obviously you're all Pereira Glazers, what was your night like? Did you have anyone to talk to about the Pereira loss? You know, it's a very sad thing for someone to experience.
I also felt bad the next day. I'm sitting on the couch and I had just woken up from a fresh nap. No, it was Sunday.
A fresh nap.
Like, I was like, just woke up after a nap. My brother immediately is like, how was the fight? I just said,
don't bring up the fight.
I snapped on him. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
How do you think it was? How do you think? You saw Pereira lost. You saw.
It's like, if I don't talk to you after the fight, what do you think happened, you idiot? Like, why would you ask me about that?
I would be talking about, I'd be, Poeta!
Exactly. I'd be shaving my head bald. At
Shama!
So what are we talking about?
What Pereira should do next and how the future for Pereira looks.
Well, look, he didn't look great in his fight. I'll say that. He looked, in my opinion, I think I might have mentioned this already in a previous video. It's the first time where I've, felt like he looked old.
Can we say he looked grizzled?
He looked, I don't know what that means, but he looked tired. He looked like he didn't want to be there in the last 2 rounds. Looked dejected. I don't know if it was the always moving backwards. We know that makes you tired. Mm-hmm. The threat of the takedown, it really hinders the striking sometimes. But he didn't even get taken down, there was no reason for him to be that worried about it. Yeah. Because even if Hank does take you down, you're probably not going to get submitted. So in my opinion, it would be better for him to risk it all and try and get that KO and risk getting taken down rather than keep backing up against the cage and get rocked.
Because Anky Danky ain't going to knock you out. I mean, he didn't knock you down.
Yeah, that was close.
Ain't got some sneaky power.
Yeah, because anyone in that division has big power, right? Like it's nothing special. But let's talk about heavyweight. So right now you have the weird situation with Tom and John Jones, which needs to get resolved. Mm-hmm. And Tom said on his reaction to the fight that he has good news coming. The fight is pretty much set. They just need a venue and location, mm-hmm. or venue and date.
So I think for Pereira, and in this situation, you run back the Pereira Ankalaev fight. You know, in the summertime, kind of similar time frame to Jones Aspinall. Mm-hmm. And then you hope that Pereira wins his belt, and then I think Pereira would win, and then I think he would go to heavyweight. I think he just wants to get me back.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing else really for him to light heavyweight as long as if he can go and beat Ank.
Well, do you think he even beats Ank in a rematch though?
it's close. I think it's this fight. I think people are acting like Pereira went out there and just got dog walked for 5 rounds. Like, it was a close fight.
Yeah.
It is closer than the 49-46 scorecard from Sal D'Amato. Close fight. Next time could go the other way. So regardless, I think Pereira has 1 fight left in light heavyweight.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is the Ankalaev fight, and maybe you potentially get one more, which would be if Dricus went on and beat Hamzat. I think you get a Dricus-Pereira fight.
Yeah.
Dricus moves up.
I agree with that.
But I think by the end of 2025, Tom Aspinall, we're going to say, is the champion. Because in a perfect world, Tom Aspinall beats Jones, Jones retires. We never have to worry about any of that bull again. End of the year, Pereira goes and fights, moves up and goes and fights Aspinall for the belt, But I think that if Pereira is completely done in light heavyweight, I could see him going and fighting a Volkov, kind of similarly to how he went and fought Jan Blachowicz first in light heavyweight, not immediately to the belt, Get used to the division.
Yeah.
Go and give him a tough matchup in Volkov, a big striker, see what he can do, So that's kind of how I'm feeling leading into this. What do you kind of think is going to happen on if he stays in light heavyweight, moves to heavyweight? What do you think is going to go on here?
I think we always overestimate how crazy he is. We're always like, oh, he's moving to heavyweight. And then he just does the normal thing,
Mm-hmm.
He stays in his division. So I think, we need to stop thinking of his career as some anomaly.
It's not my career mode.
Exactly. It's not my career mode. You're not making changes every 2 seconds. He's comfortable in his division. He's done the weight cut over and over again. He's used to the fighters. He's used to the size. I think he's going to stay in light heavyweight for now. And he is going to try and get that Ank fight back, because I think he knows that that wasn't his best performance. He knows that there's a possibility that he can get that belt back. And I think he believes that he can win. And I think that's the most important thing. If he doesn't believe that he could win, then I think he moves on. But I do think there's a part of his brain, and it's competitiveness, you have to have that to be at the highest level, where he's like, I need to get it back.
And here's my thing is, I think that if this fight happens again, I don't know if we see a super long turnaround. I think we see 4 or 5 months max.
Yeah.
In those 4 or 5 months, do we see Pereira back on this international, going and seeing this, or is he focused? Is he going to go out to North Korea, South Korea, Africa, Jamaica, Brazil, Europe, England, and Thailand?
I hope he locks in. I think it's time for him to get back to his roots,
And it proves everyone right of, was he that focused,
Yeah.
He's out and about, and then you lose. If he wins, sure, it's all good, but the fact that you're out across the world a week out from your fight looks real bad.
I agree. Yeah, he looked bad in that fight.
And you come in and you have your worst performance maybe in your whole career.
Mm-hmm.
It's
doesn't look good. And I think, I think that he wasn't focused. He needs to get back in the gym and just treat it like he's an up-and-comer again, Needs to I think he still has motivation, but time doesn't stop for anyone. So it doesn't matter if he still has motivation. If your body doesn't work the same way, and he's been taking a little bit of damage in the last couple fights, so it's not getting any easier for him. And that's why I think, in an Ankalaev matchup, a rematch, I think I'd probably pick Ankalaev because of the age, the confidence Ankalaev's going to gain from beating Pereira. He didn't really feel any power from Pereira, so he's not going to be worried about it. He's just going to keep walking forward. And that being said, Pereira has a great chance to win because of his one-punch knockout power. I wouldn't count him out, but I just think it's more likely that we see the exact same thing, a 3-2 decision. Yeah,
and it's so weird with Pereira. I don't know if it was stubbornness, but the way that the corner, Glover, was like, you need to do something. Come on, you gotta go. You gotta go. Just refused to. Maybe he just, Pereira's one of those fighters who, I feel like sometimes he's almost a perfectionist in the ring, looking for that perfect shot.
Yeah.
And I just think in 25 minutes, he didn't find that perfect shot. And he just needed to make it a little bit dirtier,
Yeah, for sure. He just need to close the distance, but then he's worried that Ank's just gonna shoot.
Yeah.
That was the issue for him. So you can't blame him, because I'm sure he was trying, and it's just the stylistic matchup is clearly giving him issues. But let's talk about heavyweight. Do you think, like, I think if he loses to Ank again, they move him up to heavyweight if he wants to keep fighting, and they give him Volkov, because it rewards Volkov for being on a good streak, and you know, he didn't really lose that Gon fight. So Volkov gets his biggest payday probably ever in his career. And Pereira gets a nice, I would say, easier matchup to the heavyweight division.
But here's my question: is putting Pereira in a co-main event a waste for the UFC? Because at that point, you're gonna have Tom, and who's he fighting in the main event of a card? Mick Parkin,
Cyril Gane, probably. I don't know. But if Pereira's coming off 2 losses, I don't think you can justify giving him the belt. You know.
I mean,
they did it with Izzy, but
you got Izzy. Volk is coming off of, I guess, only
2.
Yeah, 2 losses.
But those guys they had more title defenses. They were around for longer. You know, they could do it. I just don't
Pereira
think
was one off from career championship wins than Volk.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just tough, you know, because you hate to see a guy move up. It's all about where heavyweight's at that point.
That's the real issue.
You know, and the thing is, I think Tom's going to want to start kind of pumping through it, kind of to make up for lost time.
Yeah, for sure. I think Tom could fight every 4 months, realistically.
Yeah.
If he wanted to.
He doesn't have to have crazy cuts, you know.
I do think that Pereira is going to... In Tom Aspinall's video, he said, like, oh, if that was me that caught him with that 1-2 at the end of the second round, he would be knocked out. And people were like, oh, you're way too confident. Your best win is Blades. I'm like, dude, he's right.
Yeah.
If Tom Aspinall catches you with that same combo,
you're right.
Pereira is on the ground and getting ground and pounded. You know what I mean? I just think that Pereira needs to fix his defense a little bit.
Oh, it's bad.
If he wants to go up against Tom. Look, Tom doesn't have the best defense either, but Tom has speed, bro.
Tom's boxing is...
Tom is probably faster than Ankalaev.
I would say so.
In the first round, at least. You know, he's got that first round cardio on lock.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen much after that, so who knows?
All right, I think that's going to wrap it up for us today.
Well, you want to talk about Pereira's boxing, you know? His boxing
I put
career.
that there as a joke.
Usyk and Ngannou. He ain't getting that Usyk fight anymore.
It's too far gone now.
No, that Usyk fight is never happening. I think we might have deluded ourselves into thinking that Pereira even has a chance. But Usyk is the best heavyweight that we've ever seen, maybe. So,
yeah.
You know,
Ngannou
would be interesting.
Ngannou boxing, I think that's more realistic than Usyk at this point.
Yeah, because think about how plotty Ngannou is. Pereira would have the speed advantage, lighter man skill.
Yeah.
But again, it's like that defense.
Well, I mean, the UFC and the PFL, they don't like each other, but like, you could strike up a deal and be like, you know what?
Especially with Dana White moving into boxing now.
Yeah.
There's definitely something that could happen, but he said he doesn't want the athletes to cross over. So, and it makes sense. You don't want people going back and forth.
We've seen how that plays out. Like, it don't play out.
MMA's cooked if that
But
happens.
that's now going to wrap it up for us today. Let us know what you think Pereira's next move is. How does Pereira's future fare inside of the UFC or in boxing? And while you guys are down there, make sure you're liking and subscribing. Appreciate all the love and support. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
See ya.